Yamas.
Oh, how we sounding? We sound okay?
We sound pretty good. You want to turn this light on?
Yeah. Yeah, that was always What were those guys? The Slee Stacks.
The Slee Stack. Oh, I love the Slee Stack.
I hated those. I mean, I didn't hate them. I just was scared of them.
Yes, I was scared.
Because they had like socks on their hands.
Right.
They were like sock
And
puppets.
you just looked there, you were just really weird. And you're always like scared of something that, like, for whatever reason, like they can't. Like if you ran, they can't catch you.
It's so slow
because they were so slow. But the notion that they could catch up to you, like they're always there.
Right.
Like you fuckers ain't moving.
We want to pop out of another corner.
Right. Exactly. Like someone will always like be over there and they're just walking really slow. It's like
Oh, you forgot about my brother around the corner. Two Bros Podcast, episode number 22.
Wow, 22, double deuce.
Yeah, deuce in the house. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. It's a shitty day outside.
I know it's a shitty day. We seem to have a lot more of those lately than better days, but
we're in that transition period. Yeah. We're in the transition where like the weather's like, hey, I got this shit I got to get out of the way. So let me go. I want to give you guys a nice spring. So, I got to give you some crappy days.
So the weather has somewhat of a purge. It just kind of
probably, yeah.
I think enough shit builds up in the clouds, and then it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to go somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere.
So what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
I've heard that the actual temperature of the water in an ocean, like say you go to Miami or whatever else, has nothing to do with the temperature outside. That it's all undercurrent. That it's all based on the tropical, where the water is coming from. If it somehow
the current,
yeah, somehow the deep sea has this to and from,
right?
Like the wind, northerly winds, etc.
I can understand.
And what do you call those guys? I get geologists, or I guess people that study the
oceanographers.
There you go. Shit,
Ooh,
I went to school for oceanography at Beach Channel.
That's right, you did.
That's why I went there, and then I was like, "Where's the oceanography stuff?" There's a bunch of fucking thugs and gangsters hanging out. That's right. I was like, this is fucking, I'm supposed to be getting away from this shit. Right. And I go to Beach Channel.
You bring it to a place that exacerbates it even more?
Yeah.
So I can do this shit around the corner.
I was like, I tried to get away from these fucking guys, and now I'm back with these guys, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. This is what I wanted to get away from.
Plus a 90-minute bus ride.
Yeah, and I have no friends. Like I got no my homies. I can't be like, yo, I'm down at the school. Come through, help me out. No, you got to cross the bridge.
Build this shit all over again.
Shit.
That's right.
So that's pretty weird. But that's a weird shadow coming from somewhere.
Where?
It's just a weird shadow.
Oh,
may just be the light overall, just the direction. But other than that, who gives a shit? Interesting couple. We took the week off last week for not for any reason, any particular, but it just had.
It just didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Timing is everything. So that gives us 2 weeks to kind of compile all of the bullshit that we didn't talk about last week to talk about bullshit this week. And what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? What's I don't even know what's happening. Like the Olympics to me seem not on anyone's mind other than
the Winter Olympics. No.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's like, all right.
But I mean, what's like curling to me has to be one of the craziest fucking sports. Okay, well, let's go back to episode 4 or whatever when we talked about Icarus, or 14 when we talked about it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The show Icarus. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden plummeted to like the front of the page, and you gotta watch Icarus. It explains the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you fuckers are waking up now. You know what I'm saying? And this whole doping thing, and then the guy with the curling team.
Yeah, like what is the like you took steroids on a curling team because you wanted to do what?
You want to
better.
Smooth ice out faster.
I don't know how that is. Like how like what is like what can you do better?
Where's the athletic gain
as a curler? Like can you like scrape better or just? I mean, I don't know.
That guy will be a great fucking janitor, like at a building, at a skyscraper. And he scraped gum off the place, all the place.
I got a discussion with somebody about curling. I said, I want to know what the shitty curlers look like. Like if you're if you're horrible at curling, what does that look like? Because you know certain sports, you know basketball.
Yeah.
You can look at a dude and say, dude, you can't dribble, you can't do anything. Right. What are you doing here?
Right.
What does that look like if a curler is just a horrible curler and everybody else in curling says, hey, look, bro, you really need to
get this shit.
You need to find something else to do because you're really
don't
know what you're doing. But what does that look like? Because to us, it's a dude pushing this block and a bunch of other people mopping up. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and also like how did the sport like come to? Like, you hear the stories of basketball, a couple guys they hung up a peach basket.
Right.
Baseball, they said there's three guys just
standing around just doing something. Or even something historic like a marathon. A marathon was supposed to mean like one dude was sending a message to somebody else and had to run this distance to get somewhere else. Yeah.
Is that how a marathon was?
That's it had something to do with like a Greek was sending a message from something that happened
from the king, from the mountain, or whatever.
From the sea to back to his people, and it was like a 26-mile
keep running
trek, and it just had to keep going, and so they call it a marathon. So everything has like some like sort of historical significance to it. Yeah, I'm curious as to what that is for curling.
Well, I mean, most of the games have all been surrounded around like Greek, arena stuff, right? And at no point did these guys have winters and like.
At least they would be outside and just let's go play.
Well, these fuckers wore togas and sandals. So how the hell were they in the snow? Just doing this fucking curling thing. That one bugs me out, and another one in the other Olympics, or the regular Olympics, is that little power walk thing where they do the little
speed walk. Speed walk. Yeah,
that should be like anyone in Manhattan. That's just like I gotta get to work.
I saw the rules for if you're a speed walker.
Really?
And they're actually rules. Like
your shoulder can't go a certain height.
Right. Like you can't move to it in a certain trajectory. Your heel must be in a certain like
rhythm.
I think you always have to have something on the ground. So like as your heel is coming up from one foot,
so you gotta
the other foot has to come down. So you can't
totally be off the ground.
They don't want you to be off the ground because it's supposed to be walking. If you come off the ground, then they can probably say, well, that's running.
Right, and you have an advantage by leaping.
You can't propel yourself.
Right, you're making strides. So you take longer steps and get there faster. So you have to have that little walk.
Right, that little walk, like your stride, and your stride can't be, but so like you have to like have like a full extension on a stride or something like that.
Weird fucking walk. They just do that. It looks so weird. It freaks me out. But
try it.
Well, like the invisible box challenge, I tried. Everybody said it's simple, it's easy, and they did the invisible box. I tried it. It was fucking hard as shit. And the one girl who did it, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, and I tried it and it looked shitty, but it was fun.
But you tried it.
I tried it. It was fun, absolutely. And some people, but the on my feed, the line was going crazy because people were like, yo, man, this is not a challenge. Like, this is, like, get a life, dude. And, I'm like, guys, it's just a fucking challenge. Like, what the hell happened? Everybody went in my feed. It was like, this isn't real. No, it's fucking not. I made it. And the guy said, there's clearly not a box there. You could tell. And it's not. I'm like, dude.
It's like, if I gotta explain, if you gotta explain all this stuff, then
if you have to explain the joke, it's not worth it. It's not really a joke. It's not really a joke.
It's not worth the joke. That's funny. That's hilarious. I didn't know you were getting cut. I saw you had like a lot of things on your feed, but I didn't read a lot of them.
No, a lot of them were just like, I was like, guys, take it easy. It was just a fucking trick, a joke.
Just trying to do something.
Just something fun. Just play around with it. Like the what's the other one? The still challenge or whatever.
Oh, when you're right.
Those were fun. Those were really
they were
fun.
A little fun.
They were fun, and people did them at work, and then, you see, I like when you do it, and you do it really well, and then all of a sudden a piece of paper is flying around or something, something that really is moving.
Some are done pretty well, yeah.
Some of them nice. I like some of them. I like when everyone's in on it.
When you can involve a group,
right?
When you can involve a group of people to do the same thing, and
that shows some team. Everybody's in on it. Everybody. There's the one guy at the copy machine, like, well, I don't want to do it.
Are you gonna record it?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of this? This does not work. The guy at the copy machine. Is there gonna be a guy at the copy machine now?
Not anymore.
Do you need to? I mean, because at my job we don't need a copy machine. You don't need to copy anything. any document you have is usually generated digitally.
Right.
And if you need to send it, you just send it to somebody else or...
I mean, you're right. But, at some point, you do get a point where you have to still print shit. And
still hold on to actual physical...
Here, this stuff. Is it. I've served you the papers, et cetera. Yeah. So that you still need it. I don't know to what magnitude. Not to what it was before where Conoco was selling these things for $9,000 a month.
Yeah.
They were like,
that and the service.
And the guy comes and you can't print one copy, one gets stuck and you call the guy and all this. That's for the birds. Like simple fucking machine, print 10 pages or whatever else. Let's stop it. You know what I'm saying? And I think you're right. I think that we are at a time where
we do what? You do the Adobe so you can sign, you can fill out and sign stuff.
Yeah, I'm just trying to...
I get broken.
We broke it up.
Oh yeah, you could use Adobe to fill and sign stuff, and you never really in many cases you don't have to actually look at an actual sheet of paper.
No, I know, I agree, and I had to sign the NDA the other day, and we were walking through a project. He's like, "Oh, I'll send it to you, but we'll go through now. Don't worry about it." Mm-hmm. And I'm walking and talking, and I'm like, boom, 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 and I said, "It's done. I sent it to you." So the guy's like, "What?" Well, when you get back to the office, I sent it. I signed it. I sent it to you. Carry on. Let's move on. Like we'll pass. Like those roadblocks are not necessary these days. Where you're trying to really compete with time and save time.
Right.
I mean, the ones that are necessary, you should be able to just get past it. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people get caught up on the paper. They're just really stuck on, especially in industry and corporate America, that corporate world. They just love stacks of paper. Lawyers love paper.
Love stacks, love showing up. Lawyers, but then what the fuck you need a briefcase for if everything is digital?
There's a guy that rides the train with me, probably on or close to the same time every time. And he's like this, I could tell he's very, how do you call it, methodical in his stuff. Like one day he pulled me over, put me to the side and he was like, "Yo, bro, man, you're missing a loophole in your belt, Like,
oh, really?
And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry." And I'm like, "Why am I apologizing?" And he's like, bro, come on, man. Man, she's sharp, man. Like, he's one of those guys. He likes to be sharp. He smells good. He's got the haircut every day. His fucking hairline is razor sharp every day. His shoes is polished. I don't know what this guy does. I say hi and bye to him casually and just whatever else. And he carries this fucking briefcase that's got lunch or whatever he's got in there. He must have a whole week's of, something. And I wanted, and I said it. I
want to snatch that and see what's in there.
What the fuck is in here, man? What do you have in this bag? And my wife does that. She carries a shitload of stuff in her bag and never has anything we need. Hey, you got any gum? No. Half an hour looking for gum. And gum. No. Gum? No. Toby Wong? Toby Chain.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like weird. So, other than that, man, what else is going on? I'm just drawing that.
Well, listen, we're the last time we did it, this was before what happened in Florida, right?
Yes, it was actually the day before. It seems to be almost every podcast we do is the day before some stupid shit happens. We did the Sunday, the one before the guy in Manhattan. The day before the other one.
Yeah.
And we're always like, what next? And God, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, what is in, I hate to attach the word impressive with it, but you look at what like the young high school students are doing now and organizing and just saying, hey, look, you guys are just going to hear us until something gets done.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep pounding this pavement until you guys get something fucking done.
I really
that
love
makes this a priority. And when you look at all of the times that we've had a tremendous amount of change in our society, it's been because of young people. The civil rights movement was fostered by young college students. And it's when I think it's when like young people all of a sudden take a look at our society and say, hey, wait a minute, this ain't right. Something's wrong here. True. That we need to fix and do it in a manner to which they're not being obnoxious fucking kids. Right. Because you also have some of them that like will stand up and like dress in all black and shit and say ridiculous things. But this is a definite example of them organizing, of them using the platforms that are available to them to demonstrate their their willingness to do this so that we can get something done.
No, and the fact that these kids are conscious, you know, I'm you always want it to be as genuine as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't get much more genuine. Stop fucking killing us. Like stop. When are you guys gonna do something about these shootings, about something? And I don't know why it's, you know, it's always someone else's problem. It's always the government's problem, etc. And we've talked several times on gun control and gun banter and all this, you know, like it's clearly evident that this fucking AR-15 is not necessary in normal life. Normal day-to-day, even if you were hunting.
Right.
Which we've been invited hunting. So I'll tell you more about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you are fucking hunting, you're not you know.
It begs the question, like, have we it begs the question, does your right all of a sudden is there a point where you can demonstrate, okay, well you obviously can't handle this fucking privilege that you have
right,
and lead us to being a productive society, because obviously there's something going wrong here, in which we need to take a look at this fundamental right that you have, which we don't want to take away, but basically say, you're not fucking getting this, you're fucking this up, so to speak. So we need to change something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying like they've been, companies have, or class action suits have sued Philip Morris. The cigarette people. They'll soon sue these fucking vapor people very shortly. The problem with that is they're scatterbrained. Like, these guys are not one company. They're not one company. It's
millions of company. And to their what will help them is that vapor people never said this shit is healthy. We just said you should do this instead of smoking.
They just said there ain't no law against it, and it has less than that.
And they said this is probably better than smoking, but nobody ever said this shit was safe.
Yeah, it's true.
Nobody said it was a safe alternative. You know, and I personally, I don't know. I just, like, you know, seeing some dude walking around. I don't want to smell your cinnamon and lemon steam as you passing around. And
it's become a culture, though. It has turned into a culture. I mean, listen, I was on it when it first came out, when it was the pens, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy 1,000 of these. I'll sell them in fruit vapors. I'll be the fucking pen guy. I thought I was gonna be a life of a party.
Let me get a pen. Dude. What you got?
Yo, I really thought that I was gonna make a break. I was gonna blow up with this shit. And I went to the distributor. I filled out the application. I was like, yo, give me. You know, I was gonna buy like a couple 1,000 just to come out the gate with. And then I stopped liking them. And I was like, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't really that fun, and it's really not that cool. And
well, a lot of these shops could be paving the way for
the dispensary market.
Exactly.
Most of them are. Most of them are priming for that. And I'm sorry, I'm going to drop this down a little bit. But most of them are trying to do that. And I've heard several. It's just way too high. We're high. Yeah, most of them are like, what's the guy, Kareem Biggs, that was with Rockefeller, and you know, he's been buying up dispensaries and stuff, and a lot of the guys that are really like into it. I mean, in California, it's sick. I mean, and these shops in Colorado, the recreational stuff, and for it. So it is paving the way for the vape shops. They'll already have the business plan set in module, and you just change the product, You know what I'm saying? So they just put one on the corner down here, you know, beast mode vapors, you know what I'm saying? And and it's like, oh, big lounge, yo, go in there.
Oh, is it a lounge too?
Yeah, suppose I never went inside, you know what I'm saying? I went inside. I mean, I looked and
might take place. Everybody thought for a while, for like a brief moment in time, everybody thought hookah lounges were going to be a big thing.
It is still, though. Hookah lounge is pretty big, though. Yeah, it's pretty big, man. You go to fucking Astoria, you go to, now it's like, where do I get it? Like, where's a cool hookah place? It's still even growing. It still is evolving. It's still growing. It's different. You know what I'm saying? I went to what's that place? Play on Queens Boulevard. It's a bowling alley. It's a bowling alley. Fucking it's got a bunch of shit. Pool tables, bowling. One of those type of places.
Okay.
And they had fucking racks of hookah.
Really?
Racks of it, and it was like
that you could smoke there.
They bring it out for you. Yeah, let me get a strawberry lemonade with the mint twist and so on. So you order it like a bartender, and they come take your order. They come down, your hookah's here. They set it down, set your shit up, and give you your tips. And, yeah, it's fucking. I enjoy hookah. I really enjoy it better than smoking cigars. Like I enjoy that more than smoking cigars. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess because hookah you actually inhale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you inhale it, you get in the tobacco and a little bit of a feeling with the fruits. You know, cigars you don't inhale. You just really puffing.
You shouldn't inhale.
No, you shouldn't.
I know some people who have. No, don't do that. What are you doing?
And I think that's why I was so turned off to cigars. I was like, am I doing this wrong? Fucking black shit coming out, like fucking spawn coming out of my chest. And it was like, don't inhale, brother. And I fucked that one up. But I like them. I like them. In fact, we went down to Miami, and I was like, babe, it's not like crack or anything. You won't get hooked on it. And we went to a hookah, and she likes smoking it when we're out of town. She doesn't like smoking it around,
around here. I
don't know if it's something about being in Miami, and you're at a restaurant and you kind of have a hookah and you sit out there, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it more than that, but it's not been the big thing like. But in fact, the worst part of that is the cigars have been ostracized now. They become the black sheep of the How am I gonna smoke those old foggy, stinky cigars?
Which is why I like when I go to Miami. When I go to Miami, I could sit outside of the restaurant and puff my cigar and have a Cuban coffee and pastries and stuff like that. It's one of those. You're right. It's one of those environments to which you're not number one. You're not the only guy doing it. Right. Number two. So what? Everybody,
it's ingratiated in it. Like people appreciate it. Right. People appreciate it. That's one thing, right? And these fake connoisseurs. I mean, I got a couple of friends. They, my man Big Pat, Pat LeBlanc. He did I missed the second one. I think he had it. I think it was Friday. It might have been Friday. It was What's today? 25th. So 24th. He may have had it at the what's the one in Rockville Center? The Cigar Lounge.
American. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
Pretty cool. That place is.
I've been in there once when they first started. I used to live in Baldwin, and that's when they first started. But it's a pretty nice spot. It's a nice spot.
So he had his smoking friends or whatever. He does this thing, and
I'm thinking about doing something like that.
It's not bad. He draws a nice crowd, and it's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing. That kind of guys have the sip and paint. So this is like, the girls have sip and paint.
Okay,
they do a sip and smoke. Sip and smoke. That type of thing.
Sip and smoke. Oh, okay.
So those are becoming a little popular. You're going to see a lot of the men who are really bonding and getting together and really showing fellowship.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be just regular shit. You could explore shit.
You can explore other shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that. So shout out, Pat. You did your thing. Sorry I missed it. And
great idea, man.
But it's a great idea. I see this summer. A lot of people are planning on doing a lot of more social. Exclusive events rather than these big super parties that are just blown out with tons of people you don't know.
Well, they can get out of hand. Like it always starts like fun, but then it's like,
they do.
Like how long do you keep going on until you really want to say, hey, I really just want to go home and watch Netflix.
That's kind of the idea. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like what the fuck is going on here? But other than that, man, All-Star Weekend, we that happened. Did you partake of any?
No, I'm not a big NBA dude.
So they changed the format, which was no more East and West.
Oh, you pick players,
right?
So there's like a captain and
correct.
The captain picks players.
So they did like fantasy. So it was kind of like they picked players, and it was kind of crowd driven.
So like it can be more evenly drawn then. If that's going to be the case.
Yeah, like I go first, you go first. You know what I'm saying? Right. You pick. Now, everyone's new boggle was, well, we would like to have seen that on TV, like the picking part. Like that would have been really fun.
Okay.
Like, shoot for it. Like bring it back to the park. And they didn't do that. So whatever happened in the behind the scenes, and who knows how it was done. But the teams were nicely spread out. LeBron had a nice squad. And Steph Curry and LeBron were the two captains.
Okay.
So it was Team LeBron versus Team Curry.
Okay.
Team Stephen. Now, each of them had a charity that they were also tied to. Whatever else. I would have liked to have seen that the team was named the charity, like Team Brookhaven Mills or whatever.
Okay, I got you.
Brookhaven Hospital versus this. That would have been more fun and a little bit more. To be Team LeBron kind of puts everyone at we play for him, and the players were equal. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, just in my opinion.
Okay,
just in my opinion.
I see your point.
Yeah, this is just my opinion. So, other than that, it was a great way. It was super exciting. It was 140 points like it normally is, but it wasn't 140-20. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. It was a tight game all the way through. You got to see different guys play. You got to see East Coast and West Coast guys play on one team.
Right.
Which we never get to see.
Right.
So unless they get traded and now he's on this team and now he's in the Western Conference. So that was more likable.
The NBA seems to get the All-Star game platform right.
Yeah.
In other words, they just sort of abandoned this notion of I don't want to say abandon the notion of competition because people want to win.
Right.
But they kind of realize, hey, people want to see points. People want to see dunks. Mm-hmm. People want to see a little bit of flash. Yeah. People want to see some athleticism.
Sure.
Yes, it'd be great if you can set a double screen. All right, fine. But that's really not what we
if you want to run a 2-3, you want to right.
We don't want to see that. We want to see these top athletes be top athletes. Mm-hmm. And if the score is like 140 to 132, okay, so what? That's not going to happen again. I think other sports have it. Baseball definitely has an issy with that.
Well, LeBron says it very well. He put it this way. And by the way, he just amazes me every year. Mm-hmm. I mean, LeBron James is, to me, in my lifetime, the greatest I will have ever witnessed as far as a player. Jordan was alive when I was younger. I didn't watch his games. I would the 13 Ghosts himself, Jimmy Fingers, he was like ingratiated with this guy. Like he knew what shoes he was wearing. He knew if he got a haircut the night before, if he had the flu, what his temperature was. I was like, how do you know that? Like you follow the guy that much? He was like, dude, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. But LeBron James has single-handedly accepted the responsibility. And I appreciate him for that because he's gone out and said, now he had some choice comments about our illustrious president and the state of our politics.
Somebody told him to just be quiet and dribble or some shit like that.
Shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm not going to shut up and dribble. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stand up for some of these things, these issues, while I have the platform and while kids are aspiring to be me and aspiring to be what I am. And this lady who I won't even say her name. I don't know it, but I wouldn't say her name anyway.
Right.
That she doesn't like. No one approved her to have a political.
Exactly.
You just got a job.
Right. You just got a job,
and you read a teleprompter.
Right.
She reads a teleprompter and says what the producers and stuff write.
Right.
That's a little bit different than
you don't have a thought.
Right. You don't have a thought. You're being paid a salary to perform. And if you don't do it the way they want it done,
right,
your ass is
and
out.
maybe incite, and maybe just be a little bit more. Hey, you could be a little aggressive here. You could be a little
stank on it.
Put some stank on it.
A little stank on it. But the interesting part about what he did was he reacted right away. Mm-hmm. He said, "No, I'm not going to be quiet, and you do your thing, I'll do mine." And go look at how many kids I'm putting through college who didn't have financial ability to go to college and didn't have the resources, etc. else. Not that he was bragging about it, but he kind of, and people took it kind of a different way because they all of a sudden they put his stat against like what?
Someone's mumbling.
So they put his stat up against like a Jordan, how much the Jordan Foundation versus his, and it was like he's blown that out of the water, like with no. Not even close to it, you know what I'm saying? And what his foundation and what he speaks to.
He's been very, very, ever since he came in the league, he's been very, very pro. He's very pro. He was very clear about his ties to the Cleveland community. Even when he did his little, taking my talents to South Beach thing, he made it clear that he was about Cleveland. That he's not just going to be just some athlete,
right?
He has an opinion. He'll express his opinion. He is organized. His foundation touches like on all, just about every corner and every aspect of society.
So his business affairs are in order.
So it's not, he's not just like some dumb athlete cashing a check.
No, I have again, I say not a newfound respect for him. I've refreshed my respect for him. On the court or on or off the court, he can be a little whiny. He can be a little this, but that's every game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, and one thing he did say is he was like, this is the only sport where we've actually listened to our fans and we try to make as the players have a players union and we have the ability to go to the commissioner and say, this is what we want. And the players union, which Chris Paul is the head of, and I think he's on the board.
Oh, he's the head of the players union now?
Yeah, Chris Paul is the
head.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, but LeBron put him there.
How does that mean he put him there?
They wanted LeBron to do it. And LeBron said, "Nah, I got so much going on with this, but CP's the best, you know." And he appointed Chris Paul in it, just like CP got that State Farm job, the Cliff. LeBron. And they said, "I'm too busy, but my man CP's on ready. He's ready for you." You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Very super interesting.
And you have a commissioner who understands that link, who understands that connection between. If you enhance that connection between superstar and fan, you benefit the league.
Yes,
and so he understands that's a triangle that has to happen.
LeBron actually said that this commissioner is the most understanding of. He gets it right. And when they appointed this guy, when David Stern came in, just looking at him, I was like, "Get this dick out of here." I mean, the guy does look like a penis. He clearly looks like a penis. And I was like, what the fuck does he know? What does this? And this is just knee-jerk reaction. You just look at a guy and you do the same thing that you wish people didn't do. Right. It's made an assumption about the guy.
You judge him.
And the guy is really putting, things in order. And I guess listening to the people, like you said, understanding where fan, viewer, people that attend and go, players, etc. So kudos to those guys, man. They really did some cool things about it.
It'd be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next decade or so. Like as the athlete starts to realize sort of their place as a social critic, so to speak, or like how far would they be willing to take it? Like how I'm sure we're going to get to some point in which a professional team may not take the court or field because of a particular issue that either doesn't get resolved or they're unhappy with something happened. So I'm sure at some point we're going to see a professional team go, you know what, we're not playing tonight.
Well, go back to Requiem for the Big East, Look at John Thompson. Walked off.
Yes.
Took his team with him. Yeah. Said, "Listen, man, we ain't playing this. Yes. You guys are fucking it up."
Yes.
You got the
a few college teams have done that. Yeah.
So I can appreciate that at some level, on a professional level. I'm not too sure about on the college level, because to me the college thing is super out of hand. I think college sports are so out of hand right now.
It's almost like organized crime.
Yeah. I mean, new allegations. They're talking about money that went to guys. They're talking. Poor Kylo Quinn accepted $1,800. Like, why'd you even put that in the paper?
Well, didn't the head coach of Arizona, didn't he not play because he apparently got busted? Like taking money. From somebody.
No, this is big. I mean, we're seeing the house of cards really crumble. Because guys are gonna be forced to rat. They're gonna be forced to say, "Listen, you're facing federal time now, and now if you don't tell us how this deal happened, how it went down, it's gonna be a big caboose, a big bust." Because here's the thing: the fact that a college coach can make $5 million is. If the highest paid teacher, the astronomy guy, can't make that money, the guy who teaches you calculus and habeas corpus or whatever else can't make that salary, that's kind of weird to me. Like, it's weird. It's Marxism in itself. It's like, if you can't do the job that you're paid to do, I mean, if you can't afford the services of the job that you're teaching, like, how could you? You can't do it.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. It's almost implosion. You know what I'm saying? So for Mike Krzyzewski, what is he, $6 million a year, $8 million? I don't know what his numbers. His numbers are stupid.
His numbers are ridiculous, though.
But you could fill every seat in there, charge everybody $20, and it still can't come up to that money.
Yeah.
So this is TV deals. This is
shoe deals, athletic equipment.
I mean, I've listen. He played at a small school, right? I counted, I never paid for a fucking game. And neither did the family of us. So you got 12 players on the team. They have 4 tickets each for my family members. Then you have student faculty. Then you have all this. No one's paying. People to pay to get in are like, "Hey, I'm in town this week." And, "Oh, sure, $10, no problem. Yeah. Come buy a ticket." You ain't selling that much popcorn and fucking... So how does this happen? Like, I mean, so you talk about small schools that don't even have the the media coverage. They don't get the exposure.
Mm-hmm.
They're not capable of qualifying into these, big deals. Their coach will never make that money.
Right.
Because he's got no draw. You know what I'm saying? He's got no wins in Mikasa, as they say. Like he just can't compete on that level. And that's now what they're calling a small school. It has nothing to do with the size of the school.
The size of the school,
campus, right. the all of the
it's
other
all
stuff.
Financial,
it's all the financials. They say you're a small school because you can't draw. Oh, you're in the MAC conference. You draw this much. You can only draw this much. But you go, I'm sure Jim Boeheim is kicking himself in the ass saying, why the fuck did we leave the Big East?
Yeah.
He gotta be.
Yeah.
He's gotta be. He's gotta be kicking us, go in the locker room every day and say, why the fuck did we do this shit? Fucking lawyers. And the lawyers who did that deal probably made more money than
probably. They're probably still getting checks for it.
It's gotta be.
A
royalty deal. But I like Jim Thompson's back in the days when he was just like, no man, fuck this shit, we're gonna walk out of this. He'd just take the whole team and just be like, to the locker room. We out.
Right, we're gone.
We're out of here. But speaking of sports, you had opening training day.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that?
Well, I didn't enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
Per se.
But happy it was here.
But that it's here, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That it's here and that this part of the season is starting to get underway.
It seems crazy.
It's you're looking at a bunch of people who you don't recognize and all that other stuff. But just knowing that this time of year is here. But it's happy for me.
So what's happening? I mean, what's happening? So this guy, Giancarlo, came over, right?
Giancarlo Stanton, yes.
Who else came?
He's on the Yankees. The Yankees also got... So who else is new on the squad? They re-signed CC Sabathia.
Did they?
Yes, they re-signed CC Sabathia. There's a couple of smaller players. There's a couple of younger players who look like they're gonna get some playing time.
Some playing time, okay.
And whatnot. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. It's always gonna be fun to see.
But that's always cool. I mean, baseball. What is it, 182 games?
162.
162 games.
162 games. There's always the proposal to reduce the amount of games.
Would you like that? Would you think it's?
I don't know.
Right. I guess you're used to it. Tradition says one thing. Tradition means you're used to it.
I would like the season not to be... I would like October to be the playoffs. Because, I don't know, there's just this thing about October being the playoffs. Sometimes it bleeds into, November and stuff like that, depending on, the schedule or whatnot. So I would like to make sure that the playoffs culminate in October.
So what is it now?
It is October.
Starts,
but it can sort of leak out into November.
You can go all the way to almost Thanksgiving before.
No, not that far. But
when's the World Series
week.
Usually? When's the? We had it. We had it right before the holiday. I mean, before the hurricane season.
Right.
And, Houston and all of that stuff happened.
Right.
And Houston won.
Houston won. Houston is the defending world champs.
Nice.
Their series with the Yankees took 7 games, total of 7 games. In the final game, Houston won, beat the Yankees. So Houston moved on to the World Series, beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
The Dodgers.
And now it's we get to do it all over again.
Do it all
over again. That's the hard part about losing. Like if you lose the final, you got to start all over again. And all of those, because all of those things that happened, because as much as you want to say it's skill and stuff like that, a lot of things got to line up.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
You're kind of waiting for those things to line up again.
Sorry.
And they may or may not line up again.
Right. And that's clearly the case of my illustrious Knicks
here. Woo-hoo! When we went to that game, there was a total different feeling about that Knicks team than the feeling about that Knicks team now.
Man.
That was a Knicks team of possibility. That was okay, you know what? Maybe we can hang a little bit. We're
going to be here.
And I was like, what the fuck are these dudes doing?
I constantly struggle with Hornacek's decisions of how he's coaching.
Yeah.
He just, listen, I've not been a pro, but I've coached on the AAU level and the amateur level. And I know when somebody's hot, you keep them in the game. You're going to burn that skillet until it's no more. Until he can't, keep shooting, man, keep firing. Right. You're hot. Guy gets hot, 2, 3. Okay, let me bring my guy in. He does it every time. And I don't know why. I don't know. We're watching it and it's happening and everybody's like, wait, the guy is hot. Let him keep going until he tires out. And then you bring your guy in and then you hot. Right. and you ride the hot. He likes to do hot and cold, and I don't know what his fascination is with it.
Some people believe in a scheme or a methodology
of coaching.
Yes, more so than they like follow instincts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like a combination of the two things that have to happen. Like you have your way of doing things, but then, sometimes instincts will take over and say, hey, wait a minute, this one thing is happening here that looks good. Let's see if we can, like you said, let's see how long we can ride this out. And then if it, as it goes cold, okay, then we'll go back to re-implementing what we want to do. But sometimes you got to play those against each other.
There's been times where, throughout my son's career, and I can only go back to him, I can remember him in high school. First game of the season, comes out the gate, whap, whap, whap. First 9 points off the bench. Off the game, coming out of the game. Run the fucking play! Huh? I'm sitting in it, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden, coach yells at him. He turns his ankle and he's out for the rest of it and loses his starting position all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget that game because it was one of those, like, my way or the highway. Like, the coach was specifically wanted one player who was the star kid or the highly touted or whatever else. And I can only assume he wanted him to get his numbers. Like, he wanted the prophecy to be fulfilled, or why he recruited the kid, or why he got him, and show his prowess of why. Not that I found this little gem on the bench. This guy's great, which is what, Jeremy Lin was. You know what I'm saying? Not to say great, and I hate to use that word, but he turned out to be okay. Great for a great situation, not a great. I'm not saying great. I'm not saying great in the grand scheme of things. I'm saying it happened to be a good find.
Well, it was a good find. Yeah, it was a good find. He turned out to be a decent ball player, and he's got himself a career.
Yeah, made himself pretty popular and was able to ride the wave. But he kind of fatted out too. He just got traded to a couple of different teams and tore an ACL. And
good enough to stick around, but not good enough to
stay.
To stay.
Yeah. Where is he now? I don't know.
I think wasn't he in Brooklyn?
He was in Brooklyn. I think he's hurt or something like that. But
didn't he get into some shit like he put his head in, like he locked his hair or he did some shit where he like put dreadlocks in. Or something like that. Yeah. And then Kenyon Martin said something that's, if you're not black, you shouldn't be dreading your hair. And then I think Jeremy Lin said, so it's kind of like that Chinese writing you got on the tattoos you got on your thing. So what's up with that?
Right.
Kind of like put it back to him.
Good for him. That's pretty fucking badass. I would do that all the time. A lot of people that have these fascinations with other cultures and they don't learn more. I think it's a disservice, right? It's almost like, like you said, you go get a scripture of a Bible on your arm, but you have no idea what the rest of it means.
Right, exactly.
You have no idea where it came from, who wrote it. No, I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. It's cool. It means something to me.
Yeah, man. It's pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool.
Who's taking care of my kids?
Yeah. But so outside of that, we had All-Star Week, and then we had the long anticipated wait of the Black Panther.
Ooh.
Wow. Everyone was going nuts. The world went crazy. This has created a new phenomenon.
I don't know why.
Because you had fantasy and it made it fun to go to the movies again.
Okay. That's what I love about the movie.
That's what I liked about it too. It was it's sold out. It's this. You can't find it anywhere. It's where do we go? When do we go?
Right.
Let's catch this show out of, you know. And so now people all over again have discovered the dine-in theaters, chicken and waffles and watching a movie. And so it kind of reintroduced this medium or this media to people again that were getting very slouchy, that were getting very Netflix and chilly.
Yeah. And you made your decisions. Right. You look at the previews and you go, okay, maybe I was Netflix. Nah. And you can take your family out to see a movie, which is something that I want to see more. I want to see our family as a family go out to enjoy a movie, and it didn't have any overt it wasn't tremendously violent or anything like that, and little spits of language here and there. But for the most part, it was a good movie. It was exciting to go to the movies, and you can take your family to go see a movie. Those
$68 later, yes.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes, if you want to drop the bread, you want to do some overtime the week before.
I can remember going to a movie for $20 for all of us, $20, $30. It was $67. Now, interestingly enough, people are a little upset over StubHub and these other guys coming into that space now saying, hey, they're buying up tickets.
Secondary market.
So it now create, stupid is, stupid does, right? Yeah. So we have this medium, and now there's, what do you call it? Supply and demand, right? So the market saw, wow, demand high, supply low, not enough theaters, not enough. Is this enough to make people build new theaters again? So some of them are saying, hey, we need to fucking upgrade our shit. People are saying they'll pay a higher ticket price if they got if they can get chicken and fries and burgers and stuff,
fries and get a beer,
and revenue and a beer and all that other stuff. So now ticket sales have changed. The P&L, the profit and loss on a movie theater, is no longer just you're only looking at popcorn and hot dog revenue. Now you can, and they got to the point. What I like about this is that they got to the point of how much could you charge for a fucking hot dog and soda and thing. It was up to $15. And
was it really that much?
It was that much, man. A combo, $15.
I never got one. The worst I would do is I would get like myself a small popcorn or something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's still like $8. But yeah,
but they did it. They mastered the art of mediums only. If you get they said medium was designed to make you either feel good about going large for the value or the fact that you could have stepped up for the that divider. It was a marketing divider that says, we'll just put it just a hair above, but if you're gonna get the medium, you might as well get the large.
Yeah.
And for years it worked, but I think people just kind of that's what made the movie experience stupid. Like, okay, $10 for a ticket, $15 for a hot dog.
Right.
And so we do it all the time. We'd come in, we'd go to the Chinese place before, we sneak a bag in, bring the whole, we'd be in there eating Chinese food. Shit, at the Black Panther, we had pizzas. Man, I had
Did you really?
I stuffed the fucking 4 pizzas in my hoodie.
How the fuck you put pizza in your...
Well, because it's flat. And the guy put them, I said, look, give me on separate plates, right? So he... Pie, and I just put them on paper plates, and I rolled it like this. I just rolled it, turned it to a fold, put it in between my hoodie, walked into the movie theater, sat down. Hey, Ron, you want pizza? We sat down pizza, and fuck that. My wife and my daughter had Stone Cold Creamery. They had a sundae that it looked.
You probably spent more for the Stone Cold than you would have anything at the...
No, we would have been more expensive inside. Okay. We'd have bought it in the movie theater, but they had Stone Cold eating sundaes.
So I've never been one. I don't want to be a consumer. The only thing I want to consume when I go to the movie theater is the movie.
Is the movie, right.
I don't like any of these other...
ancillary
shit. I don't want to like, what am I going to eat? No, I'm not here for that. I'm here for this movie. And I've developed this habit where just if I get a popcorn, I'll usually like house the popcorn,
get it over with
until the movie starts.
Yeah,
and then I put it down, and then I just want to watch the movie. And I am bugged the fuck if people start asking me questions. During the movie.
This is insane.
It bothers me.
It bothers I think
I didn't come here to listen to you.
Right.
I Hold your questions to the end. To check this out.
No, I hate that. I mean, it's super annoying when people want to know what's going on and they want to, hey, why is he going there? Why is he going to a tunnel? Well, fucking watch it. We'll find out together. And I said, hey, let's wait for the comments at the end. Let's just wait to the end and then say, what about this? What about that? And is that something? Is that a psychological thing? Some people just can't stop fucking asking. Like,
I think on some level people want answers. Like people don't want to put shit together, and a lot of times movies will give you subjectivity. They won't give you an answer.
Right.
They will say something happened. We know this is how it started. We know this is how it ended. You kind of like got to fill in the middle and whatnot. And people don't want to fill in the middle. But what happened? Why do you do this?
Even watching a film like at home, and you're watching a movie, I don't want you to talk to me about it.
Right?
Why did she go in there? Who's that? Is that the brother? Is that the cousin? I'm lost. I'm this. Well, slow down and just watch, and then come back and then go. Right. Oh, And yes, there are some points where you go, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And then it goes off and you go, what the fuck?
Right, exactly,
you know?
right.
But that's what it is.
But that's what it's supposed to be,
The
right.
roller coaster is an hour and a half, 90 minutes of just up, down, down. And if you went into it, you went into it. That's all.
So what'd you think of Black Panther?
I enjoyed it. Okay. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the theatrical purpose of what it was. We talked about this before. I was never into the Black Panther comic.
Yeah,
as much as people seem to somehow become involved in it.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
everybody
has this started until you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Now, it's funny because I brought it up to somebody and I was like, so you're Black Panther. What Black movie was it featured in and whatever else? Well, I don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, Do the Right Thing, actually.
Right.
When what's his name? Giancarlo. What's his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
And he was like, the Black Panther is coming. He had the book in his hand.
The book in his hand.
The Black Panther. But I enjoyed it. I think the anticipation, of course. So it's very difficult to. I mean, I could pick it apart. I could pick apart the stuff I didn't like about it. I could pick apart the stuff I enjoyed. The first off, for me, since it's already been out 2-3 weeks, we're not spoiling shit. If you didn't see it now,
if you didn't see it,
I know people, my friends that just saw it last night. Like, we're going tonight. But the one thing that I picked up that I didn't kind of get, because I like what they're doing with Marvel Studios, and I like how they're flowing them and putting them together and really mending them and intertwining them, which I enjoy. Because you could pick up any one of them. Now you kind of lost. You're saying, which one, is this Civil War or is this
right?
This is Ant-Man by himself. This is this. So I like that. I like those worlds because I grew up on Spider-Man, Amazing Friends when he was with Iceman and Firestorm and then you had the X-Men and Spidey would show up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was waiting for that all the time. Like in fucking Deadpool when Colossus. I almost shit my pants. I was like, give me more. I've been waiting for this guy on the screen. He was
Colossus, yes.
Oh, he was a guy I couldn't wait for, man. And then to see he was like a dumb Russian, like to
kind of make him a little.
Come on, Nikolai, take your hand. I was like, okay. I didn't really want to see him in the Deadpool world.
Right.
I didn't really want that.
You want to see him in the X-Men world.
I wanted to see him in some serious shit, like in some serious stuff. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was very fantasy. I thought it was very whimsical. I thought, obviously, Michael B. Jordan literally played Creed in this movie.
Yeah.
And you talk about again, we're talking into the details of it. You talk a people or a tribe or a ritual type of environment, right? That lives on ritual and principle. And a kid from Oakland off the street somehow magically finds himself there in a biplane, a little 2-bit plane he went and took, and somehow this lost place where he had this book for thousands of years or whatever, and he found it. Like he just navigated himself. I thought that was too far-fetched to make it seem like they could have taken their time with that story. That story could have been sequel 1 and 2 and it could have went further on how this nefarious villain.
Yeah,
you can't be a villain overnight. Like what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's first of all, I thought Michael B. Jordan was fantastic.
Yeah, acting wise, he was fantastic.
His cachet is going to increase tremendously. But yeah, I thought that could have been established a little bit more.
Yeah,
like his connection in sort of piecing together the things that he needed to do to get back there and become king and exact revenge on the people that killed his father.
Right.
I thought that could have been pieced together a little bit more.
Right.
But, in
the grand scheme of things, it only led me to believe that this was so much dialogue that wasn't necessary, that they just want to get right to it.
Right.
So I get that part.
Right, because because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put it in a position where you have to accept it.
Yeah, right.
This is what happened. Well, how to get it? Well, then I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. So that's how it happened.
But you go to like George Lucas is another film studio who really gets it, that whole and has taken this ritual type of world. George Lucas will do it in the credits, and he'll show you that long fucking And if you don't read that
story, right?
If you don't read the beginning a long time ago in a galaxy far away, this was that. You will never. This is when people say they don't like Star Wars. They don't get it. They never read the beginning.
They didn't read the beginning.
You have to read the beginning. It up for you. You have to read that in order to put yourself in.
Encapsulates for you. Kind of like fills in a few. It fills in a few dark spots.
I mean, it just takes you to the time in which they're speaking of, where all of this stupid shit is possible. You know what I'm saying? Where all this fantasy is possible, where fucking that scene, is definitely like
that's an iconic scene,
right? It's an iconic scene, which is coming back in
what, Star Wars?
Solo.
Oh, and Solo, yes. That looks interesting.
That looks very interesting.
I'm curious about that.
I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, I liked, maybe it's one of those things where like the hype of the movie sort of outpaces the movie itself. Like you, I think I enjoyed the movie. I thought the themes were relatively simplistic. Good versus evil. Should we keep yourself insulated, or should you expand? Are your gifts that you keep to yourself, or are your gifts something that you share with others? And I get all those and
tons of symbolism.
There's a tremendous amount of symbolism and all that. But now, as we start to analyze and say, because I think some people tend to go like a little bit overboard and say, "Oh, this was the best movie ever made," "Oh, this was," and then they use things like, "Well, it outsold X amount of movies in before." The amount of money the movie makes has nothing to do with the quality of the movie. No. You and I are both lovers of like independent films and documentaries. We would list 1,000 movies that we would say are better movies than this, but. Yes, it made a tremendous amount of money. Popular movie, good movie. Go see the movie. I'm just not gonna like start wearing a dashiki and like see other black people and start doing. I'm not gonna do all that. I'm not.
It kills me that
Wakanda forever. So that's a fictitious place, right?
But you know what? It kills me that, and I'm glad you said that, because it kills me on the bandwagon. The bandwagoners have always found this to latch on to. And the hype, the question is, how long does it last, right? How long are you gonna, do the handshake? Exactly. How long are you gonna fucking, and I think one of these comedians said it first, he was like, great, fucking, barbershops are packed with women shaving their heads and the MMA class is full. Good for business. You know what I'm saying? It's great. All women want to get in shape and fucking do karate and mix this. Right. Mixed martial arts and stuff like that. It's great. But if you don't have, I think if one thing it does, and I've heard both Chadwick Boseman and Ryan Coogler discuss on, if I'm saying his name right, I heard them both talk about the getting the DNA test, the real true test, not the Ancestry.com, fill out the questions and say, you're 30% this, you're 30% that. You get a real DNA test and find out where you come from and figure out some of those cultures that did exist, those rituals.
Right.
Where they would dance around a turkey and before they ripped the head and sang a song. Maybe it's only one culture, but maybe it's 10. Maybe it's every harvest they crop because it was, some things are regional to your culture because of where you live, and the moon comes at 5 and 6, and then some things are hereditary, like cultural, and you wonder why you like this, and you wonder why,
that's very interesting, because I remember I was watching, what was it? It was the Anthony Bourdain. It was one of his episodes, and I forget where he was. He was a very interesting dude. He was in some African nation. I forget the nation that he was in, but they talked about some things that were so ritualistic. Like one of the things that they did was when they set dinner for everybody, children are at the end of the table.
Yeah.
Why are children at the end of the table? Children are at the end of the table because they get like the smallest portion of what everybody else is. Everybody who's in the middle of the table, you get the most food. You get sort of like maybe not the scraps or anything like that, but you get pretty much after everybody else is taken. Now, why is that done? Okay, number one, yes, you're small and blah 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 blah. Number two, you need to learn to appreciate what you do have, and you learn to appreciate humility. That, you know what, This man who's sitting at the middle of the table worked his ass off.
Went and caught
he should be able to pick whatever he wants.
Right.
You are living under him,
right.
And therefore, whatever he does not need to sustain himself, yes, you will have that, and you should be appreciated of the fact that he'll make sure that you have some. We'll make sure that you have, but you shouldn't be too anxious about just sticking in and grabbing
I want the drumstick.
Right, you haven't earned that yet. So so like you said, it goes back to sort of these cultural things that aren't necessarily maybe it's specific to that region, but it teaches the lesson it teaches you if you were to embody that as you move on. You say, well, do you want a bigger plate? Yes. Well, then you got to put in a little bit more. What are you going to put in a little bit more?
Right.
Well, how much more skin you going to put in this game?
No, that is true, and I really appreciated their perspective of what they learned from it. Like in other words, they said, I guess the interviewer said, "Well, what did you guys get out of this? Did you forget that you traveled to crazy places and you filmed in South Africa and you did this and you filmed in all these places? Did you learn? Did you get a closer sense to who you are, where you're from, and what your legacy is, and does it now give you new things to share with your family and do?" So I enjoyed that part of it. I think because of the novelty of it, people won't do it. In fact, it won't change any tradition. The only tradition that is going to change is capital, and the capital tradition is we can't wait to go to the next movie.
Wait to go to the next one. Black Panther 2.
Yeah. Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? Or, Oprah's magical whatever that's
Oprah's
coming
Magic
out.
World.
I don't know what it is.
Oprah's World of Magic.
But that's going to be big too. And Venom,
yeah.
And I mean, these guys can go on and on and on.
Yeah, they got a plethora of stories.
And I think George Lucas is the only one that can match them with their world, like Lucas World versus Marvel. You have quite a bit of characters, but that's insane. That Stan Lee could the foresight to make this world up that doesn't exist. That my wife has a hard time thinking about that. Like, who are these people? Like, where they? And some guy just dreamed them up, and I said, it's kind of like the Bible. Like it's all these characters.
They're very archetypal. They're very archetypal characters.
Yeah, and no different than Greek mythology.
Right.
If you take mythology, how many times have we seen, Zeus versus, Mercury and this one and that one, all those.
And you recognize them. You recognize the hero.
Deities, right.
You recognize the hero. You recognize the villain. You recognize the good-natured father. The good father, but doesn't really have a sense on how to translate that into a modern world. That type of thing. We recognize all of these characters, which means that these images have been with us for probably for millions of years.
I think so. I it's interesting. I just like the fact that what's happened to the modern, like you said, seeing families go out, seeing, people go out and have a good time and enjoying
a movie,
it's supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a little
escape. To be fun.
If 2 hours, 3 hours, you escape from whatever and you come out and if you go have dinner or do something as a family, I'm all in. I'm in for that. I really think that those were great times that were, that you could recall of having a good night,
They were,
good family nights, and we don't see that anymore.
We don't see that anymore, and you plan to do that too. You you say, hey, let's. So you want to do something tonight? No. We're gonna take the kids out to a movie this weekend. So let's, because we get, when we were young, when our kids were younger, we didn't have a lot of money, and so taking your family out to a movie was a big deal.
Yeah, But I mean, anything like that. Hey, we're going to an amusement park this weekend, or we're going to a museum, or we're going anywhere. If this, for nothing at all, brings that back, to American family culture, then I'm all in for it. Yeah. I'm all in for that type of experience because it is so helpful and nurturing that all it does is it just allows you to just be, not watch. Right. Like you just got to be a family and just go do it. So that's pretty cool, man.
You can engage with other people. Yeah. I don't know. There were people like saying that like white people were trying to get you not to go to see Black Panther, or I didn't experience any of that.
Damn, I keep fucking.
What are you doing over there with your long legs?
Knees. Yeah, that type of shit. The rhetoric when people try to make this up, and people try to make it. Yeah, you have to see the movie. Go smack your boss. Who said that? Like, who wants to do that? Like, this this too many opinions really, it's too much. You know what I'm saying? It can be. Yeah.
You can fuck up. You can fuck up a good time.
Yeah.
You can fuck up a good time, and this can all of a sudden become politicized and shit. And what does all this mean? And other than, hey, you know what? It was a pretty decent movie. It was a pretty movie. It was nice. It was good to see a bunch of black folks in a major motion picture. Yeah. Made umpteen $1 million. Everybody in there got themselves a nice check. Hopefully they'll go on with their careers and they'll do other things. I think there are actual living black people that we are running out of for Chadwick Boseman to play. I think he's played all of them, like
James Brown, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall.
We're running out. We need some more people. Play? Who else? Who else is there? We got to think of some obscure dudes. We got to think of some. What he's got Malcolm. He could do Malcolm X. He could probably. Malcolm X has been done too well. Too many times. It's been done too many times.
Denzel killed it. I mean,
let's see.
But there'll be some Desmond Tutu or something.
That's a good one.
Desmond Tutu or something.
That's a good one.
That hasn't been happening.
That's okay. All right.
Everyone has done Mandela. Everyone has taken a stab at Mandela.
Yes.
Morgan Freeman is the ultimate,
Morgan Freeman did him. Sidney Poitier did him.
Yeah, Sidney Poitier.
Yeah. Yeah, so
is Sidney Poitier still alive? Did he die?
Yes. No, he's still alive.
He's still alive?
He's still with us, I believe, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a guy, what a barrier breaker. I mean, he's really been there the course
of
time.
When you look at the things that we say today about black people in Hollywood, and then you go back to a guy like a Sidney Poitier, you ask yourself, well, damn, how did this happen? Like, how did he get through? And then, I mean, he'll tell you what it was. It's just because I worked my ass off and, I did what I had to do and I didn't make excuses for myself.
Have you seen Mudbound?
I have not seen Mudbound. Everybody keeps telling me about it, though.
Great fucking flick.
It's something I should check out.
Great flick. This kid, by the way, the guy that played Eazy-E, I don't know his name. I'm terrible with the principal actor name. The kid who played Eazy-E.
Right.
He's been on fire since Get Out of Compton. I mean, Straight Outta Compton. I mean, this kid has been on fire. He's in The Shy. You watched that's a good one.
Is it good?
Oh, it's great. It's great. He's in that. He's been in several. I mean, this kid is on fire. And he was in the Obama movie that nobody even saw.
There was an Obama movie?
2 of them. Yeah.
Two?
Yeah. Barry, and what was the other one? To Michelle with Love or something like that. Like when he was courting Michelle.
Okay.
And it was more of a love story.
Okay. Was it the TV movies or?
They were like straight direct DVDs type of things. And
is that even direct DVD movies?
I mean, direct to video probably. Yeah, probably, But I guess this medium is the reason why there's something like that. Straight to Hulu or something like that. Straight to Netflix.
Straight to Hulu. Straight to Amazon Prime.
Right, exactly. But Barry's pretty good. Actually, if you watch Barry, it goes to when he's, the Columbia days. His Harvard days and, how that all happened, being an organizer.
Right.
It really goes and speaks to a lot of those times that were people go, how the fuck you get here? Like, you know what I'm saying? That fills in that blank that you may not have known if you weren't chasing politics. Like most people don't arbitrarily go, like no one knows what Bush did in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't look. So why would you know? Like why people just automatically think you're a public officer. You should know everything
about the person. Yeah, and that's the case.
It just so happens that Trump has spent a majority of his life on TV.
Yeah, he's been a public figure for
So there's nothing,
most of his adult life.
Yeah, so there's nothing you haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? There's no mystery. There's no wow, this guy was a Wharton School, graduate from this and that. You know that already.
Yeah, we know that.
You know that already. So not too much going on there. Man, what else is happening in the world of politics? Or we have it kind of we hit a like the apex of the getting ready for spring. I guess we had that 78-degree weather.
I know we had,
which was like
it was weird. It was. I threw on a sports jacket when I went outside. I was like,
as Bill Evans would say, it was great suit weather. Great suit weather. You don't need the gear. What gear is this, Bill? What gear we need?
No gear you need for today.
Oh, yeah, gear.
Great suit weather. It's great.
With the kiddos at the bus stop.
It's great. If you want, just miss a bus there. It's great. Just miss a bus. And just
walk to a different coffee cart. But yeah, he's he's one of those fast talkers. He's like Vince Vaughn. He talks so fucking fast. Built for comfort, built for speed. You motorboating son of a bitch. Vince Vaughn, I like Vince Vaughn.
Take a Xanax, brother.
Yeah, you really just need to calm down. But
take a Xanny.
No, in the world of, I guess, all the things happen, like the there was award shows. There was seems like
I don't follow.
I can't follow me. The Golden Globe or what was it? Emmys, Grammys? No, the Grammys. No, Grammys. Grammys happened.
Okay, yeah,
Grammys happened.
Yeah. There was the Grammys.
There was a few award shows that were like these big moments. You had Super Bowl. We had, All-Star Weekend, and like February kind of like caps it and gets you ready for the spring.
It dies it down.
Yeah, it just dials everything down. So next thing we have is March Madness.
Yeah,
NCAA.
Yeah, they're starting. Don't the tournaments start at the end of the month?
Yeah.
And
the end of the month is now. It's 27.
Jesus, that's right.
It's 27. There's only 2 more days left.
I saw this billboard where it says the big. I think they're having the Big Ten tournament and the Big East tournament are both going to be in New York.
Garden? That'd be interesting.
Like one's going to be in the Garden. I think one's in Barclays. Or maybe that's the Atlantic 10 tournament. Maybe the Atlantic 10 tournament is in Barclays. But yeah, but 2 of the major college tournaments are going to be. That's always exciting. I can get into March Madness in college because it's nothing but just sheer excitement.
Yeah, it's super racy. It's total. I enjoy it. I appreciate it. It's if you can get the politics out of it with all this goofy stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball, I think Ron's team lost to Christ the King, and their season is over. So
playoffs or
that was it. I think that was it. Freshman doesn't get city, state, and all that. Maybe they do. I don't know. He'll tell us better than that. I think he's done.
Okay. But
I had a good one. He had a good run, I guess. I don't know what his record was. Record was pretty good. He beat some good teams. Beat the team that he lost to. So that, to beat him early, when you beat a team in a regular season,
right,
and you could beat them,
right,
it's the playoff one that counts.
Yeah.
Beating them in the playoff is the one that counts, and that's all.
When it's always about adjustments. It's always about what adjustments to make because they're going to make adjustments. So what adjustments do you make? It's like you play this chess game, going back and forth. You play this chess game about what needs to happen, what do we need to be prepared for,
right?
When we see these things happening, and hopefully as a coach you'd be able to notice something,
right?
And you can say, okay, they're doing this, so because they're doing this, we're going to do this.
But the interesting thing about like being a freshman coach is that what most people don't realize, well, I'm sure they do, you only get one shot. You get one season with your team because they're gone.
Yeah, because they're gone.
They're gone, and now you're bringing in a whole new team every year, so you don't get to grow with them and learn things about them. So you have to take advantage of the summer prior. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to know everybody, and that's why guys like to be in that AAU circuit and they travel and they know the guys.
Right, and it depends on how the school has structured it because the school could simply structure it as that. Look, that freshman team is just to learn how we
how to listen to us. Yeah.
So it doesn't. I don't even really care what your win-loss record is and stuff like that. If you know that when I call Shadow 3, that they know what the hell to do. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Or some just go out there and say, look, just do the best you can. Try to, maximize the talent that's over here.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can groom and pick, out of that bunch, you can get one guy that can go up to the next level and be, he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got one. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy. But other than that, man, it's really just like, I'm seeing like the basketball world again getting... with the youth sports, a couple of my friends are coaches and stuff, and I'm hearing about brawls and Jackson versus Andrew Jackson versus Cardozo, big brawl.
Jesus Christ, man.
And most of them are started by the parents. The parents are the ones jumping out and
Jesus,
that's my baby.
I think.
That's all right.
I think parents need to learn that your time is done.
Yeah.
Your day is done. Your day is over.
Vicariously living through your kids is not going to happen for you. It's not. Let him do his thing.
And support. Make sure there's good food in the house when he comes home.
Yeah.
But
they're just chasing this ever elusive. I mean, the numbers don't benefit. The numbers don't look good for the majority. You know what I'm saying? Unless your kid is that guy, that special one. He's a dynamite, and that's pretty evident. Like, that's visible.
Yes.
You know who the guy is.
Right.
It's over for the rest of everybody else.
Right.
You're just supporting cast. I mean, you're going to get to... So, at best, you should get your free education out of it. You should get the scholarships. Right. You should get to go to the school that you want to go to and go there. This illustrious dream of going to the NBA and going pro is not in the cards it's only a 3%, 3% even get to the level of being asked.
Right.
And then the 1% make it out. So one guy out of 100 is going to make it.
Yeah.
Out of every 100 kids, and especially you talk about New York City, we shot our load in the 80s and 90s. Right. They ain't looking for New York kids.
They ain't looking for New York kids no more. That's
they ain't looking for them. They just looking like, they going to Kansas. They getting a kid from, and the Africans, they are going straight to Africa. They are getting these kids. They're coming in and the boatloads, bro. That was hilarious. That was hilarious when they were doing this, the shrug the shoulder. It was like, oh, what the fuck? Did he choreograph this shit? And P. Diddy choreographing Black Panther. I did like the Jabari. I did like that guy up in the mountain.
Yes,
I did like him.
I will feed you to my children. I'm just kidding. We're vegetarians.
I did like him. I did like his ad. But to go back to it one more last time, the only one part I was what I said I was confused for in its entirety for the catalog, if you remember the end of Civil War.
Okay.
He took Tony Stark and the rest of them back to Wakanda because they were hiding.
That's true.
So what happened? They fucking it was just a short stay.
Maybe this is
no, it can't be because Claw's arm was cut off, and now had the new prosthetic.
Right, had the new prosthetic.
So so when you look sequentially, it can't be. His father just died, was just killed, so that was the timestamp.
Right, okay.
That just happened in Civil War.
That's right.
Tony Stark's even Hulk was still on the island. They had to put him in the island to tech him up and do all this stuff.
Well, didn't someone told me at the end of the movie there was when they do these little
now we waited. We saw one.
We saw one when he went to the when he went to the UN.
Yeah.
And basically, what does Wakanda have to offer the United Nations?
And he laughed.
And apparently there was one at the end.
Further than that one?
Apparently there was one after that.
Should have waited.
That pimped the connection, the further connection he's going to have with the Avengers.
Damn, I wanted to wait.
Which might have included that the fact that these dudes are here. Yeah, but it begs the question. Okay, nobody says, "Hey, what do you want me to do with this dude's iron suit?"
Yeah, these guys were down. We were getting fucking killed by these primitive people, and I had all these super guys in the basement.
That's right.
Where they were just fucking watching. Like
that's right.
They never came out.
This dude, the green dude, was here the whole time.
Whole time. Kind of can punch mountains. The guy can punch mountains. This guy can fly. This guy can do all this stuff. But we went, and I did hear in the Coogler interview where he said he had asked them just because could he make sure that his part was capsulated in just the Black Panther story, so that there was no confusion that it was only hot because Tony Stark popped out.
Okay.
And that it was only hot because Thor fucking threw his hammer and cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he asked that. When they asked him to do it, he said, will it be my movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just work on the Black Panther part and encapsulate it. And it was unfortunate that stuff had happened prior to him that he had to, and I'm sure it was just as hard to not do that, not show it.
He's now demonstrated that he can direct a film that makes X amount of millions of dollars. He's the next one he gets. I'm sure they're talking about. Well, when's the next one? What was your budget? Your budget was $225 million this time. Oh, we can give you a budget of $400 million or something like that for this. I'm sure he's going to be able to write his own check if he decides to. If they decide to make the Black Panther franchise. If they tend to keep going.
Yeah, they will definitely sign him up for the 2. He did not get Creed 2 because he was busy filming this.
Mm-hmm.
And that was already rolling in, and he didn't get, so he's not working on Creed 2, which is, I didn't it's funny with directors and stuff, like when you start to appreciate the director a little bit more, it's kind of like when hip hop lets you have a relationship with the producer. The P-Rock, you know what I'm saying? When the P-Rock became an artist, you go back further than that. You never knew that the guy making the beats was an actual artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just appreciated the MC. So that's how I'm looking at directors now in a new educated way, like saying, well, I really appreciate what he did. You know, I've always appreciated the Tarantinos because of the content overall,
right?
But never gave them the credit of hitting the drum pad. You know, like being a producer. Like a Pete Rock was a guy that when I learned him, it was in the background punching pads and how he brought in Snake. What was his idea?
Right.
That to me was like, whoa, that's a whole nother thing about this record I didn't appreciate. You know what I'm saying? That Q-Tip was actually playing the drums of his own song that he rapped on. You know what I'm saying? Or J. Cole producing his own album. You know what I'm saying? Him in making beats. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? And that leaves where people, if you miss that part of it, then you're doing yourself a disservice of not. When you say the movie's not enough for you, like if the movie wasn't enough, look at the producer. Look at the producer and find more. Like that's a new way to appreciate a film. So when what's your guy from Royal Tenenbaum? You know what I'm saying?
What was it, Wes Anderson?
Yeah, Wes Anderson. When you start
he's
learning,
definitely got a stamp, right?
Yeah, when you start looking at his stamp and you go, oh shit, this guy's he's weird. You know what I'm saying? He's really got his shit from a different perspective, and you know that I don't think happens enough. I don't think average moviegoers give the directors and producers enough credit.
Enough credit for that, right? There is an actual theme. There is an actual style, and
there's a genre that they're trying to fulfill, that they're trying to be involved in, and that to me is something that really. But you know, one of my silent movies that I really enjoyed that nobody really got. Well, maybe they did. I'm just saying it myself. Next Day Air. You ever see that movie? With Wood Harris and the guy who plays in Power, the kid from Family Matters. It was a
Next Day Air, okay.
And Mike Epps.
Next Day Air.
And the kid played in the
that was on TV.
It comes on
every once in a while, right?
Anyway. That movie was produced by Sean Livingston.
Okay.
Basketball player.
Okay.
Yeah, which it was a weird street tale story, but it was pretty dark. It had the Mexican plot. It was funny.
That's when they got they picked up a package,
went to the wrong door,
and went to the wrong door. Okay. I did see bits and pieces of that. Yes, I was wondering because I saw Wood Harris, I saw Mike Epps. I'm not a big Mike Epps fan, but I saw them two together, and I was like, wait a minute, what is this? And then I ended up switching.
And the best part is I can't remember the guy's name for some reason. He's drawing a blank on me. But the best part is at the end when he grabs the bag of money and the people come out and he goes, and he pulls out a shotgun. He goes, you want some of this? And they ran out of the elevator. He was a package guy, and all of a sudden he's a fucking drug dealer now. Because I mean, that was funny. And then I went and looked. I was like, oh shit, Sean Livingston produced this? It makes you go, wow, this is something I didn't know he had that talent.
Yeah.
So I think that's fun. You know what I'm saying? That's fun when you can go back and pick up what's in the director's head. Who's another guy that does some crazy, like Clive, what's his name? Clive Barker?
Clive Barker.
They put on a new Hellraiser, and 5 minutes of it, I couldn't do it.
I've heard about it, but I didn't. I'm a huge fan of the original Hellraiser.
What was in the box? First time, didn't know what the box was.
Huge
Second time,
fan.
Didn't know what the box did.
Got a little fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And just okay. Maybe
guys
we need
with
to calm
barbed
down.
Wire wrapped around.
Yeah. Just now, all of a sudden, we're going back to like she was actually in the box and all that. You're losing me.
Yeah.
You're losing me. You know. But the original Hellraiser was great. But now you're saying that this other one.
I couldn't get past 5 minutes, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna waste my time. 5 minutes in, I can't pick it up. No.
I love those cult movies though. Some of them are really cool. There was this movie called The Human Centipede.
Always seen it, never watched it. Always seen the box.
Very interesting.
Is it?
Yes, very interesting.
Is this the one where they attach people together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy who has
my daughter. Is this the show? You mean
no? A movie. It's a movie.
Okay,
it's a movie.
But there is a show now called.
Is it really?
They brought it back and turned it into a series.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. My daughter tells me, but she watched it.
Yeah, this guy he sewed people together.
Yeah,
because he believed that you could do that. Yeah. You know, and he tried to do it with dogs and it didn't work. So he said, well, maybe I should just try with humans.
Yeah, that was always funny. Like in Mars Attacks when they put Sarah Jessica Parker's head on a dog and
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So other than that, man, not too much else going on. It'd be very interesting to see how Marvel pulls the rest of this off. They have the world at their fingertips. They can keep going on and on.
Listen, if you got a job at Marvel Studios, I think you're good.
I think you're really good. But you know what I haven't seen? Well, okay, so I did see some of it. I'm sure that'll be the number one costume for Halloween this year. Everyone be in Black Panther mask. The kid at the Victor Oladipo at the dunk contest pulls out the Black Panther mask.
Oh, did he?
And did his little thing, and he fucked the dunk up. Fuck the dunk up.
See, you gotta execute. You gotta nail it, man. Execute. That's what makes that moment.
And then
that's what makes that moment. If D Brown missed that dunk when he pumped up his shit, they would have laughed at him for the rest of his life.
That was iconic, yeah. But then this guy Victor Oladipo did a practice dunk that was far better than anything that was even in that show, and they was like. He was gonna do it. It was gonna be his next thing, but he got eliminated. But yeah, man. So
who won the dunk contest?
I don't even know. I know Larry Nance Jr. was in it.
What did they do? They used to. I remember they used to do the dunk contest and the 3-point. Did they still do those two?
Yeah, they do a 3-point shoot and the skills challenge, which is a point guard's challenge where you dribble through, go through cones, shoot it through a little thing, take a 3-point shot, and
they time it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the skills challenge. That night we did a little dinner thing. What's up, bro?
Morning, brothers.
Hi.
We did a wives dinner at my man Ernie's house out in Freeport. Ernie that was on our show.
Okay.
Yeah. And we had all the wives out there. We just killed some fucking lobsters and crab legs and had a seafood night, which my wife can't partake in. So
your wife's allergic to seafood, right?
Yeah, she's allergic to it.
Oh man,
sucks for me.
No, you just keep buying seafood. Hey, I guess I got to eat both of these lobsters.
Yeah. So we did that night. That night of the All-Star night of the skills challenge and all that other stuff. And the world game was prior to that, like the world versus US. Like they.
Oh, okay.
So you take all the international players, put them on one team, and all the US players. Sadly enough, there's no fucking body from the US, and the team sucked. Like guys from Kansas, and you have no idea who these guys are. But then you had Ntilikina's, Gurmanowski, Dadaksky, Baskis, and the world pretty much dominated.
Right.
So it was fun in that perspective, but it clearly showed you there was a natural divide between
they're always
pure American players.
Those dudes are they're playing professional ball when they're like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, like Rubio,
they're playing, they get taken out of school.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, you're playing ball.
Yeah, it's a way of life, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, that was pretty much it. Like you said, we're wrapped up until March Madness. That's the only thing we got coming forward to us. Yeah.
What's up with this hunting thing? That's something we gotta do off camera.
Yeah, we'll do it off camera. Okay, we'll talk about it because there's some people who we'll talk about. But hopefully we get up there and go upstate and go shoot some fucking deer.
I like it.
Cook that
fucking just stack up the fridge. I'm thinking about. We started off talking about guns and stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm actually thinking about I actually am curious about hunting. I did it once when we were in the Fresh Air Fund.
Yeah.
We went with this dude who was hunting woodchucks. and I didn't know what a woodchuck was.
Right.
And so we went and shot it, and I'm like, the thing is like this big.
Oh,
and I'm like, why are we killing this?
Right.
For? I mean, I'm like, what are they fucking with your things? No. We can. So we can kill it,
rats,
But now, if you can get a deer and then, you got venison for a whole.
You got a lot of meat.
I remember when I took a cruise to Alaska one time, and there was a big there was a controversy going on because there was this football team in Alaska that was participating in a championship in the state championship in football.
Okay,
but this was
when you say football, you mean American football? Or
yes,
soccer?
American football.
Okay.
Yeah, that's soccer. I don't do that. I work at the UN and they say football, and I say no, that's not football. So there was this one school which was Anchorage, Alaska, city. But this other school was a rural school. And the championship was going to happen at the start of deer season. And a lot of them didn't play, said they were not going to play.
Really?
And they asked him why. And they says, look, deer season means we bag a deer. My family has food for the whole winter.
Right.
You know, and this is Alaska winter. This isn't freaking winter off the coast of Maine and stuff. This is Alaska winter. And it says, I can't not go at the start of deer season or caribou season or whatever it was. And I thought that was kind of interesting. They were like, yeah, you know, this would be great to win this championship, but you know, when we go hunting, we have to bring something back.
Yeah.
So because our family's got to eat, you know, we don't go to the grocery store and all that stuff like that. We gotta get something, kill it, prep it, and then make sure that we have it.
It's very interesting
for the whole season.
No, it's definitely interesting, but you know, some people gonna show us how to do it. I guess, you know, show us how to skin a buck. So we'll have some experience there, but you know, hopefully that'll be fun. No one gets shot in the back somewhere.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wear bright colors.
With just one bro. We're one bro short. Yeah, he's recuperating.
One in the ass. Oh, but other than that, brother, man, we hit the 130 mark.
All right, 130 is cool.
130 is cool. You have a blessed day.
You do the same.
A blessed week, in fact.
Okay.
And it's that crazy guy at the bar we met, this Alex guy.
Oh, Alex, yeah.
He's probably watching. He subscribed. He did subscribe.
He did subscribe. Oh, nice.
He subscribed that day, and
sup, Alex?
He was bugged out.
How you doing? Is your friend watching too? The one who thinks I'm
she's watching.
I'm a Neanderthal or whatever.
She thinks you're a fucking neo-Nazi or something.
She thinks you said that she thought that I have a thing against humanity or something like that, or some shit.
Yeah, that you just totally don't want people to have this care pack. What was it? What were we talking about? The Trump box, the nutrition box that Trump wants to send out.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's how it started. We started talking about Trump putting together this nutrition package that's going to have canned hams and all this other stuff in it. And her comment was, well, what about people that have dietary needs and et cetera? And said, you should get off the sauce.
Fucking then get off it, right?
Get off the sauce and go, do some shit.
Right.
So
would that be better in the long run? Would that be, rather than giving you an EBT card,
right?
Would it be better to say, okay, I'll tell you what, every month we'll give you whatever for your family. We'll give you the actual product you need for your family, rather than you go buying bags of chips and Entenmann's donuts and stuff like that. No, we'll supply you with what is considered a basic healthy thing for your family for X amount of time. If you want more, well, go get more.
No, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's I'm not saying that should or should not be. I'm just saying that's an interesting argument. Like, why?
Yeah. No, there's several ways to look at that, and you could look at it as saying, hey, why don't then if that's the case, why don't you just build a government supermarket, right?
Right.
It's jobs. Somebody's got to work there. Somebody's got to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
The product is coming in on trucks and stuff that has to come. It's no frill, wall white. So imagine it doesn't have to be super big. It doesn't have to. It could be the size of a smaller supermarket.
Right.
And it was totally government funded. Only people with a membership like Costco could come in with the card, and you could get what you need.
Right.
You have a card, and they're just monitoring you.
Right.
And then someone says, "Hey, what's going on? You're using 3,000 credits you have a social worker that's coming to see you. Okay.
Right.
It should be that you should come to the place.
Right.
Because it's like checking in almost.
Right.
And you should go but there should be fresh fruits. There should be stuff, the healthy stuff. There should be some stuff that you can get by on. There should be stuff to live on. And at that point, your credit swiping should be you have a moderator or algorithm or whatever.
Right.
This guy is buying fucking spice ham every week.
You're getting a ham every week.
Right. Something's on. We need
for yourself.
But this would be helpful stuff. This would be, hey, we need to come talk to you. Maybe you need a nutritional advisor in the program that can help you. I'm not opposed of that style of it's still welfare no matter how you put it.
Right.
And the fact that I think people don't want the embarrassment of walking to this white box building and
waiting in line, right?
You on the welfare line. Remember that? Those were the days.
I remember
those were the days of embarrassment and shaming. So if you see somebody walk into this building That's like seeing somebody walk by a STD clinic and
or a soup kitchen or some shit like that.
That's fucking Fred.
Right.
Fred coming out of an STD clinic.
Right. Fred, you getting spiced ham already? Yeah, I didn't know you was like that. I didn't know it was like that, Fred. Fred, you been putting on weight too. How come you been putting on weight and getting this government spiced ham?
The Harvest Box was what it was called. I'm sorry, that was what it was called. The
Harvest Box
program.
All right.
So
we'll debate further if she wants to talk to me.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She's gonna come on the show one day.
That'd be fantastic.
Two Bros Podcast signing off. Episode number 22. Is officially in the books. Have a blessed week, my friend.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
And that too.
We out.
Yo, you watch Two Bros Podcast.
On 13 Ghost TV. Podcast, Two Bros.
Alright, that's what my man Lex. How you say your name, man?
Alex.
Check out his channel. What's your challenge?
Spring Break.
Nice.
YouTube.
You can't get any better than the Spring Break channel. Don't you want to see some Spring Break? You want to see some
Everybody's looking for Spring Break.
Spring Break on wild.
I have no idea what to say right now.
Just say Two Bros Podcast.
On 13 Ghost TV. Two Bros Podcast.
On 13 Ghost TV. Peace.